Hello, hello. I'm Sheena Wyrick, and I have three things for you today. One, a life hack. I learned this in college, and I was like, whoa, blew my mind. I was so super excited. So if you don't know about this, you're gonna want to check this out. Let me start sharing my screen here. All right. So on YouTube, here we are at YouTube. Um, you can speed up videos. If you're not aware of this, game changer. So if I'm giving content, right, or just watching something that it's like, okay, we can speed it up, I totally go to 2 times speed. If it's a healing session, disclaimer, please do not speed it up to 2 times speed. You can do like 1.5, right? Because there's lag and there's time. And, if you're new here, I yawn a lot during my sessions. But what you want to do is give yourself grace and time to process, right? You don't want to be, especially if you yawn too, doing this double time speed and you're like yawning, 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 and you just can't catch up, right? So on YouTube, you'll see here down in the bottom right corner, the little gear, you're going to click on that and you're going to do playback speed. You have options of 1.25, 1.5, 1.75, and 2 speed. So you get to decide. You can play around with the settings, but if you're like, oh my gosh, I only have 5 minutes and Sheena did this 10-minute video, but I really want to know what she says, do double time speed, right? If I'm just talking, go ahead, speed me up, not a problem. But again, if it's healing, I recommend not doing more than 1.5. Okay, so that is your life hack for the day. How exciting. Now, let's go back to me. Welcome to technology. So, second thing I wanted to talk about, I realized that um, yesterday I was doing some math. I'm running these frequencies for 4 weeks, right? We're trying to clear out some stuff, reconnect people to the frequencies of abundance, see miracles and blessings coming in as we get out of our own way, clear the yucky clutter, the garbage, the stuff that we're, still resonating in our energy field, right? So I realized I did it for $88 for the 4 weeks, which is a number of abundance. It's a beautiful number. It's exciting, very high vibrational. And so that's where I set the price. Now, if you do the math, that is $4.40 per hour per person, right? So I am holding space while I run those frequencies for an entire hour to just be a recycle bin. I'm like, okay, we're pulling things out. I'm not tuning into anything specific. I don't know. I don't need to know any of like the, nitty gritties or what you need to dump, but I am just holding space for your spirit to say, I'm ready to let this go. I don't need this anymore. Can you help me figure this out? Can you help me release this? Can you help me to process this? And I tell you what, I randomly began them at 222, which is a number of abundance. So yesterday, if you had already signed up for those frequencies at 222 Mountain Standard Time, and you spontaneously started yawning or feeling like you felt lighter or more excited or like a breath of fresh air or were connected to higher vibrational energy, you're welcome. That's because that was the time I was like blasting the frequencies to everybody who signed up and sitting here and yawning like crazy. Oh my gosh, there was so much being dumped, which is so beautiful. I love that everyone is willing to shift. So, question is, if you've not signed up, would you like me to hold space for you for only $4.40 a day for an hour? Like, how amazing is that? I don't know any other healer that charges so little. So great value. Definitely get in on that. I'll drop the links below. And I want you to join my Facebook group too. If you're not on my email list, you can join there or you can get into the Facebook group. One thing I love about the Facebook group is I'm going to be posting in there every day just a little piece of the email, right? I've got journaling prompts, tapping scripts, affirmations. And you know what? They just came to me and I wrote the email and I sent out the email. And guess what? I'm on my own list, right? And so I get my email and I like sat down, I had a minute and I start doing the tapping scripts and the affirmations and I'm yawning like crazy. I'm like, wow, these are pretty good. Because I was finally ready to shift the energy, right? The shifting wasn't happening as I was typing. So anyway, there's that. But every day I'll have a new post to just kind of keep you on track. I know when I start a new thing or a new habit, I'm like, I'll totally forget about it. I'll do it great for like 2 or 3 days. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, I was supposed to be doing that new thing. Oops. So that's just a way to kind of keep the accountability, seeing it, being there for it. So definitely sign up for that. Now, the last thing I have for you is let's talk about contrast. So yesterday I was making notes of things that were coming into my life, right? It was new clients finding me, people signing up for the abundance frequencies. Now there's the minimum donation of 88. Some people were rounding up to 100. Some people were doing more. Some people are signing up their friends, their spouses. I'm like, this is so exciting. And so that was really fun. And it was a really good day. I felt good. I felt peace. Running those frequencies, man, I had an abundance of yawning, right? It was raining yesterday, and I was like, oh, thank you for watering my lawn. Like, I didn't have to do that, right? The water's not even turned on yet this year. So we have an abundance of rain. And then I had a call. I met a woman at a conference who was doing like a free like money like two money beliefs or whatever breakthrough kind of a thing. It was like 30 minutes. I'm like, sure. Every time we up level, there's always going to be limiting beliefs or things that we need to work through, right? It's just part of life. And that's okay. So I sign up for it. And I mean, I've got my toddler that just woke up from a nap. I've got my teenage son's not home to help. I've got four kids at home. The baby won't leave me. The other ones are coming in my office while I'm trying to be, a participant in this call. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I realized my husband is gone. He's not even home. He's supposed to be home. He was home. And I'm like, where did he go? And my daughter's like, well, he had to go fix a furnace in the neighborhood. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I knew that, but I forgot. And so it's just like, scary. And then, like fear and like panic and like, rah, just all these yucky feelings. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then, of course, my 2-year-old's like, I need to pee. And I'm like, oh no, like, because he can't hold it. I mean, we've been potty training for like 6 weeks and he's great, but it's like when he needs to go, it's like now. Not only that, I mean, my earbuds weren't working. I could not get them to connect because normally I can walk away and, go help him and be like, you're still in my ear, keep talking to me, but I couldn't. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And I sat down and at the end, she's like trying to tell me about her thing. And my husband's back home and he's like, hey, where's our oldest? I'm like, dude, can't you see I want to call? Why is everybody interrupting me? Why? It's so frustrating. I'm like, figure it out. Like, you're an adult. Call him. He has a phone. And so I'm in this like, what? Energy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I get back on with the lady and I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I just so you know, this is not normal. This chaos level is not normal. And I just like took a step back and I was like, okay. It surprises me every time, but I don't know why. Because guess what? When you up level, there's opposition in all things. Have you heard of that? I mean, the scriptures teach that, right? There's opposition in all things. Some people call it contrast. So as I'm continuing to up level and hold space and help all of these people up level, I'm a light worker. I'm helping to bring more light. And guess what? There can be some pushback. And so I just was like, I took a breath and I'm like, again, I am so sorry. She's like, it's okay. Like, it's totally fine. And she's like, I'll just send you like a voice memo of like the details and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And so I was like, okay. And so I got off the call and I realized I was like, wow, that was so much contrast. And I had the thought because I had somebody, I did a survey of like what people want to talk about. And one person said, when you feel like you're taking one step forward, but two steps back, I think this is what fixes it. So when you take a step forward, right? I'm taking a step forward in my abundance journey and life and helping people and, spreading the word and getting a larger clientele. And then it's like there's some pushback. Well, most people start to spin. Well, what happened? What's going on? And we get caught up in the energy. I was caught up in that energy, but only for those 30 minutes when I stepped back and I was like, oh, whoa, this is contrast. Like right now, I've got my 2-year-old. I don't know if you can hear him. He just came up to the door. I've got it locked. I'm in my office. Okay, buddy, 1 minute. Hang on. Okay, we've got sister on duty. He'd already gone to the bathroom, but Cindy needed to go again. Anyway, so I stepped back and I was like, oh yeah, okay. This is just opposition. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with me. I don't need to be in that chaos energy. I'm not doing anything wrong to cause this, upheaval all of a sudden, right? It's like, okay, just take a deep breath, step back, observe it. Like, wow, interesting that this is coming up. Is there something I need to learn from it, right? Is this just like, maybe because sometimes we can have like an addiction to chaos energy. Luckily, I don't think that one's mine. But I've seen it in family lines or, clients or, friends. And so I'm like, okay, interesting. If life is a mirror, that means there should be some chaos energy in me, right? Maybe it's 1%. It's obviously not at 100%. I know that for sure. But that's something that I can work on. So, moral of this story, it's okay if you have contrast. Notice what you're noticing this whole next 4 weeks, even if you just join in on the free content on my Facebook group page or the emails, that's totally fine. The goal is to notice the abundance, what's coming in, right? If you missed it, I got sourdough bread one time. I like eat sourdough bread one time a year, but I was craving it. And then this neighbor randomly stopped by and was like, hey, like I messed up last night. So like this blessing was being prepared last night, for me and was like, do you want some? And I'm like, yes, like how exciting, right? So anyway, it's okay that contrast is showing up. Just take a deep breath, step back, notice like, what am I feeling, right? Don't get caught up in those feelings. Switch back to abundance. I'm not in lack or scarcity or, oh no, I missed that. Like she sent me a beautiful voice memo. I was able to remember everything because I was trying to like take notes last night and have the 2-year-old, on me and my earbuds not working. I don't know. It was just crazy. But anyway, and I was like so grateful for it. Like you're exactly where you need to be. And if you need someone holding space for you for an hour a day for 5 days a week, that's 20 days over the next 4 weeks to help you just shift that stuff. Sign up for the abundance frequencies. It's an energy exchange. The minimum is 88, but like I said, you can do more, but don't feel obligated to do it, right? Set a number that feels abundant to you, right? We don't want to like stretch it or like have it not be, like good energy. We want you to be like, okay, this is what it's worth to me, or this is what I can afford right now, and expect it to be enough. All right, you're amazing. Thank you for being here. I hope you sped that up. I know when I get super excited, I can talk really fast, so maybe 2 times speed might have been a little too much for you today, but that's okay. And if you haven't heard, we are doing the Healing the Lack and Scarcity Trauma today. The class starts in like an hour and 6 minutes. So I will also put that link below if you're interested and you can catch the replay as well. So have a wonderful day and I will catch you later.